Welcome to Office Hours with Arrow, a LinkedIn Live event hosted by Arrow leaders who care about what senior living looks like. I'm your host and producer, Rachel Sheehan, and today we have Kat, Shannon, and Autumn with me to talk about Legend Chaser series. Welcome, ladies. I'm so excited. This is going to be fun. So, Kat, Shannon, you've been here before. Autumn, you are new to the show. So we're going to go around just do introductions real quick. I am going to start with Katarina.
Hello, I am Katarina Vrhovac. I'm the Resident Experience Director here at Arrow Senior Living.
Yay, Shannon.
Hi guys, I'm Shannon Novak. I'm the Senior Managing Director of Marketing and a big fan of Legend Chasers, if you didn't know.
Yay, and Autumn.
Hello, I'm Autumn Shane. I'm the Resident Service Director here at Parkway in Missouri.
I love it. I love it. So I'm excited to get into this. This is such a fun topic. But first, Shannon, I noticed you and I are both wearing some special shirts, which we're going to dive into the shirts in a little bit. But first, just tell us about yours specifically.
All right. I will wait until you show it for everybody to really get to see it because it's super awkward when I try to make that work out. I tested it. But I am wearing the Krampus shirt from our Legend Chasers last December. So I am, in fact, wearing Christmas wear technically before Halloween. So I'm sorry for any purists who are watching, but he is creepy. So we got that.
I love it. I love it. And I have an OG one on. The design's really on the back. So I will also show, but this is from our original Bigfoot Legend series. So first, before we get into the t-shirts, I do want to ask each of you, out of all the legends we've explored so far, which was your favorite? So Kat, I know you pour your heart and soul into this project, so I'm going to let you go first.
This is a really hard question to answer. Honestly, I had to pick one, so everyone else would have one, but I have many. But if I had to pick one, I will say the mermaids one. We had a merwomanist on. She actually hosts her own podcast, which was really cool. And we learned about, professional mermaids and their fins and the history of mermaids and where we were in history and where we are now with mermaids. So a lot of fun, cool things in that one.
Yay. Okay, Autumn, what was your favorite?
Mine has to be the UFOs and aliens. We had great results from that. And Rebecca Charbano, the one that hosted, she is an author and a historian of science, and she was really knowledgeable. She did 3 of them, and it wasn't the fact that she was trying to prove that we have aliens and UFOs, but she really put a lot of effort into the science behind it and how some was false too. So their first one was in 1965, and there was a radioactive galaxy. So it was just nice to see the truths and not truths of them.
Very cool. And Shannon, which was your favorite?
I spent a lot of time on this, but I've got to go back all the way in honor of your shirt. Bigfoot. Bigfoot is still, it's got a special place in my heart.
Very cool. And I'll just mention mine was probably, it's one that's not like the others, but the Dolly Parton one we did. So for everybody, normally it's mythological creatures we do, but we kind of dabbled in different kind of legends. So I thought that one was really neat to do something different. But I do want to go back. So Shannon, tell us about the origin story, Bigfoot, where we started this Legend Chaser series.
I thought you'd never ask. Okay, guys, set the scene. It's COVID. I start a lot of stories like this, as it turns out, because a lot of things came out of this time because we had a whole different level of free time on our hands then. So it's 2020. Events, they're not happening. We have a lot of free time. We're all going down a road mentally. And what we learned was one of our own regional plant ops people, a lovely gentleman who is now retired, and I miss him every day, named Derek Lowell, was huge into Bigfoot. He did like Bigfoot ultra marathons. He collected Bigfoot stuff. He was all into like the truths, the lies, the facts, the fiction, which is really a different way to say what I said right before that. And just had like this huge knowledge base about Bigfoot, and never in my life would I have expected this. And so as we were all kind of looking for ways to get creative, ways to bring in more of like a different kind of events, ways to give people an outlet and something new to do. And we were like, well, if he's into Bigfoot, who else is into Bigfoot that we don't know about? Because clearly obviously there's a whole underground. And so we got this lovely, soft-spoken, so quiet gentleman to host this Legend Chasers all about Bigfoot. And it was the most fun as he just talked through all of it. So that was where it started. And then we took a beat, and then we were like, guys, that was really fun. We need to do it again and expand it. What else is out there? Guys, there's a lot out there. There's a lot. So
yeah. And it kind of developed. So that was like once during COVID, but then it turned into the summer series. So Shannon, will you explain that too? Like, what is the summer series that kind of inspired Legend Chasers growing it?
Yeah. So we did that first year. And then, like I said, we took a year, maybe 2 years off while we kind of figured out how to reacclimate to the real world, and then decided we needed to bring it back. And we're like, okay, how do we bring it back? What does that look like? And we decided to do summer series. So we would pick the first couple of years, we picked 3 different things and ran them. I believe they were June, July, August. And then this year we had the plan of doing that same thing. But turns out, guys, there is a lot to talk about with UFOs and aliens. It took us the whole summer. Did we uncover it all? I don't think so. But 3 months. So that was our beginning. And then we learned that there's legends that are, well, we didn't learn, but we accepted that there are legends that are way more relevant at other times of the year. And we could celebrate them anytime we wanted.
Yeah. And that's what I love, because we're like, we're going to stick to just the summer, but then people just loved it. So we're like, let's just throw in Christmas and Halloween and all the things. So we can talk through those too. But I think we should just talk to them about while we talk about the t-shirts. So Shannon, I want you to kind of tell us how did the shirts become part of the fun?
Well, I don't know if anyone watching knows, but guys, we love a shirt. We love a whole line. Our goal is eventually, I think, in our hearts, that you can just wear an Arrow shirt every day the whole year and never have to recycle. And we are well on our way. We have a whole store. And so when we were doing Legend Chasers the first time, we're like, well, we have to make a shirt. We can't just do this without making a shirt. So we used your favorite website in mind, 99 Designs. We did a contest. We found an awesome designer, and the first shirt was born. And then obviously we'd done one, so you couldn't just only do one, then you had to do one for all of them. And they are all fun and amazing. Fun fact about the mermaid, 1 second there on the top. Our very own COO, Amanda Tweeten, helped with some of the artistry of that.
I remember that. Yes.
There's a little bit of Amanda in that one.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you see, Shannon, walk us through what each of the legends are. So yeah, that first one is what I'm wearing right now.
Yes. So first was Bigfoot. And then what I'm learning from the comments, quite a fan favorite, the mermaid. Probably because Amanda helped draw it, and people were like, yes, or could be from the Little Mermaid. Who knows? And of course we had to do unicorns. You can't just skip unicorns. But then Nessie. You can't talk about legends and skip the Loch Ness Monster. Like, that is also, if you were to ask Derek Lowell, huge Bigfoot fan, absolutely not on Loch Ness Monster. Hard no, not even real. So that did come up during his, as I recall. Then we had to do fairies because there's so much lore around those. And then, of course, dragons. And then we wrapped up that summer with the legend herself, Dolly Parton.
Yes. And then we have a few more.
Yes, because the hits keep coming. Then the shirt I am sporting, the one and only long sleeved, because you need a long sleeve in December, the Krampus shirt, showing him in his true form in the most friendly way that we could muster, because he's not a friendly legend, I'll tell you that. And then, of course, this summer's UFOs. And then, guys, we just, for October, and we did a little early because the full moon was on October 6th. We launched our first ever Halloween Legend Chasers, which was all about werewolves. So if you haven't watched it yet, it's on YouTube, and Halloween's tomorrow. And what better time? Well, besides watching it on the full moon, so you'd know what to watch for when the moon came out. But if you didn't, second best time is now. It's like planting a tree.
I love it. And if you love the t-shirts, I'll post the link later on so you can buy one yourself if you'd like. But I do want to dig into Kat. Can you talk to us about like how we decide which legends we want to chase, and then also how we find our speakers for these? Because we did start internally, you know, Derek, but then now it's grown to different speakers. So please talk about that for us.
Yeah, absolutely. We decide what next legends are coming by asking our team, like, what are they interested in? What do they want to learn about? Our residents too, so we're always looking for feedback. I remember I started with Nessie, the Loch Ness Monster, and people are always in the chat like, I'm like, what should our next legend be? And they're putting it in there. But how I found our Nessie speaker, I remember it was one of my first projects with Shannon, and she was like, here, you need to find a speaker that knows all about the Loch Ness Monster. And I was like, great, like this is awesome. And I started looking, I was like, oh, this is interesting. Like, how am I going to find a speaker for this? So I started diving into podcasts, and there is such a great variety of individuals that love to speak on these different topics in podcasts. Most recently, we found a doctorate student from the Ohio State University that had majored in folklore. She was very excited to do our Legend Chasers. We've had podcasters, students, professors. I mean, anyone and everyone that's interested, we'll do a little pre-meeting, make sure we're the right fit for each other, and then we'll go ahead and schedule our virtual event. But I will say every single speaker we have booked has had such a great experience doing this for us, and our residents have truly enjoyed it, as well as our staff. And it's just so cool to get to work for a company that does something so fun and brings out that childlike sense of wonder in all of us. So
that's what I was going to say. You never know what we're going to do in our roles. Like, you never know what Shannon's going to have up her sleeve for us. So I think that's really cool. You probably never thought getting into senior living would be like this. So very cool. And do you want to talk too about like the process? So I know we use Zoom for these. So how do you promote the event? You know, how do people get into the event? That kind of thing.
Absolutely. So like you said, the events are on Zoom. They get in, so I'll host, or someone on my team will host the event. They go into the waiting room, we let them all in. Promotion is key in these events. So we're always sending calendar invites. I send a calendar invite with the promo of what it's going to be all about. Rachel creates the flyer. We're posting on our Arrow app, on our social media pages, emailing it out to our team so they can promote within the community, because we want this to be for residents and our staff to enjoy as well. But I will say I found my best success when I keep sending out the calendar invite. So week before, I'll just keep editing the verbiage a little bit, to keep this top of mind for everyone. And that's our best turnouts, because it keeps everyone excited about the event and builds that momentum up.
Yeah, very cool. And everyone's invited. So people listening, like, we have all of these on our YouTube channel too, which I'll post that link as well. But they're free for you to use as well. So, Kat, I did want to ask you, what's been one of the most interesting or unexpected sessions that you've booked so far?
I think the UFO and aliens, I really did not expect for it to take off that way. Our speaker was a researcher with the American Institute of Physics and National Radio Observatory. So when we originally booked her, I thought we'd focus on like mainly the alien sightings, what everyone thinks they saw an alien. But it actually evolved into like a very captivating discussion about the history of extraterrestrial beings, and all the research that went into it, and how it all started in the 70s and how it's progressed until now. It is so interesting. I highly recommend watching it on our YouTube page.
Yeah, and it wasn't originally planned to be a 3-part. We were going to do other legends, and then it just kind of blew up. So
yeah, absolutely. And in the chat, like our chat was going wild with questions from our team, our residents. So we were like, you know what? There is so much interest in this. And like, that is how we decided, let's just keep this legend going all summer and get all these answers we want.
Yeah. Very
also
cool.
Was our biggest turnout, because a lot of times people will schedule it, we'll do a live, but then of course, like we said, the recording's on YouTube, so you can watch it anytime that works. So a lot of time the live session is a smaller, but this one had a pretty substantial turnout, and we're like, oh, okay. Was it because Kat kept stalking them with reminders? Maybe. Was it because UFOs and aliens are super cool? Also maybe. But either way.
I love it. And that's why I want to turn to Autumn next, because you are actually in the communities promoting this event. So will you talk about what does it look like in your community when you have these events?
Mostly it's just about really hyping up the event for me. If I get excited, my residents get excited, and it could be anything. It's just that, whatever it is, as long as I'm hyping it up, I like to make an experience for them, a full experience. So I'm going to use the aliens one. So we had moon pie, cosmic brownies, all of the snacks to go along with that. But also, I like to dress up. And so we had an alien costume come in. So just working with, see, that's some of our staff. I love that. So we just really tried to do it up. And our BOD at the time, she helped get staff involved. So having the department head support, having culinary help with that. I did a game. We did an alien ball toss. So those were eggs wrapped up in foil. So just making an experience for them, not just sitting them in front of a TV and watching it. And also I will say, like, with the live, we did live that day and it was so fun, but they kept asking questions. Like they were trying to talk to you guys. And so I was like, I can't like unmute it and like pause the whole thing. So they really enjoyed it and they really wanted to ask questions. And so that's kind of what continued us to watch it later, because they just had so much interaction with it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So what kind of feedback do you hear from residents about these experiences, either before or after?
So before, they're like, what is this? Like, what are you getting me into? And I'm like, just trust me, you'll enjoy it. And so and with aliens and werewolves, they obviously have heard of them and they have questions on their own. So just giving that childlike sense of wonder for them to come and enjoy the experience and kind of stepping out, even though you're 97, you can still enjoy these things. That was the biggest thing when I do a welcome bags or anything like that. They're like, I'm 97. I'm just here to finish my life. And I'm like, no, you're not with me as your director, because we're going to do lots of fun things. So just giving that to them and continuing a lifelong learning for them. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's interesting because, we've heard feedback from different people that are like, oh, well, my residents won't really like that, or they won't be interested. And it's just like how we didn't know Derek was really interested in Bigfoot. Like there are people out there who will like this. So, doing all sorts of events in our communities are so important.
Yeah. And it doesn't come up in daily conversation that often, right, unless you push it. So like with Derek, you maybe didn't ask the right question, and you find out when you present something and then they're like, actually, let me show you my entire research book I have about the truth and myth of Bigfoot, because I have one. I don't. That's too much work, but other people might.
Yes.
And Autumn, do you have any like standout moments from your series that you've hosted?
Oh my goodness. So we have a couple. So I like to do partnerships like with either hospice groups, and I really like to get them involved in the community in general. And so anytime I can get them to come donate or be a part of something, I do. So for the alien, we did have a bunch of alien selfies, as you had showed with the blow up alien. Also, from Monarch, he came and he had alien glasses, and he actually gave them to a resident at the end. So they were really excited, and they were like, no, we want them. So they were kind of fighting over these glasses. So I'm like, do I need to purchase another pair? And then they moved on. So it was really fun. And then for our werewolf, so we had a werewolf one. Yep, that fella, look at the size difference. He was like 6'3", I'm 4'11".
Hey, werewolves come in all shapes and sizes, okay?
And it was so funny because when we did a howling contest, because he started it, because he is such a big guy, and he did like a little howl. I kind of put him on the spot in front of the residents, and I said, hey, will you howl for the residents? And it was the puniest howl I've ever heard from a 6-foot fella. I was like, where is your voice? So then I kind of got another hospice guy that just walked in that I knew. I was like, hey, howl. And then all my residents started howling as well. So I just turned it into something. So I put a video together of them howling, and it was great.
Yeah, so go check out the Parkway Senior Living on Facebook. It's hilarious. But yeah, here's a cute photo op too. Photo ops make the best parties. Yes. Very fun. I'm glad they enjoyed it. And that's the thing, like once you do something like this once in your community, there's a following then, and they'll get other people excited.
Yeah.
So Very cool. So I did see too, and I would love for people who are listening to give suggestions for legends we're going to do, but I wanted to throw up just so you guys could see. Elizabeth suggested Medusa, which could be a fun one. So everybody listening, while we're still talking, you can comment some ideas for us because we need more in the future, of course. But I want to ask each of you to just take a few minutes to think about if anybody listening, if any of our viewers who aren't a part of Arrow are inspired by our Legend Chasers series, how do you think, like, what's some advice you would give them for starting a program like this in their own communities? So I'm going to toss it to Kat first.
I would say be bold. Don't be scared to try all these new legends. Like, who would have thought we would have such a big hit with like the aliens and UFOs? We had Nessie, be bold, have fun with it. I will say also, promotion is everything. We have to transfer enthusiasm. So we have to be excited about it for our residents, our team to be excited about it. And then, we discover some, let's say, Nessie enthusiasts or alien and UFO enthusiasts along the way. And it actually connects people because they have similar interests that maybe they wouldn't have brought up in their day-to-day conversation, which is amazing. Um, and with finding a speaker, get creative. TikTok, social media, podcasts, look at folklore majors, these universities. There's so many great people out there that would love an opportunity like this.
Very cool. All right, Shannon, what's your advice?
To listen to Kat because she took all the best ideas in hers. No, don't make, I think it still follows what Kat said, but don't make assumptions about anything because you really don't know where something is going to spark or who it's going to awaken, because you might have someone that is super quiet and they don't come to a lot of things. And by testing out these new things and going outside the box, whether it's Legend Chasers or anything, that's where you kind of find those moments sometimes where you never expect that someone's going to come out of their shell. So do not, about any age group, never make an assumption on what they're going to love or not love, or if they will be interested in learning something new, because if you love learning, you love learning, whether you are 5 or 95. It does not go away.
Yeah, and it's worth a try. Just try it once, see, and if it doesn't work out once, try it again a few months later. It could be really worth it. So I love that.
Find out what it didn't. If it didn't work, find out why. Talk to your residents. Talk to other staff members. Like, communicate and figure out. Or if you weren't excited about it, I'll tell you, no matter how cool it is, no one's going to be excited about it, because like Kat mentioned, that transfer of enthusiasm is vital to anything.
Yeah, and just pick better snacks. Take a note from Autumn. I love it. Okay, Autumn, what is your advice?
Well, snacks was it, obviously, and you just said it. You stole it. No, playing off of Kat and Shannon, exactly the energy that you show the residents is what they're going to expect. And so even if it's something I'm not excited about, I'm still going to be excited about it for them, making an experience great for them. And as snacks, the snacks is where it's at. Do the themed food and they'll always come to it. And they'll listen to you. They trust you. Once you have those relationships with the residents, they trust you to lead them on an experience, whether it be something small or big.
I love that. And I just wanted to share, because we didn't really talk about how we actually pay our speakers who do this for us, because it takes a lot of time, takes expertise. And so the tip I wanted to share was that if you are like, well, we don't have a budget to pay somebody to do this, one, use our resources. I just told you they're on our YouTube, so they are free for you, but also you can make a connection in your local libraries and they will come and do things like this for free, or maybe just other groups. Sometimes there's even folklore classes at a college or high school that might do a presentation for you. So definitely use resources like that. But like we said, it's all on YouTube and we already have a bunch. So go use them.
So ask your staff members. Do not sleep on the people who already work for you that you're already paying. Although it is nice to give them a little boost if they're going outside of their normal work. But yeah, we would have never known. And it was just right inside Arrow Senior Living, waiting to be tapped.
I also want to add, we forgot to mention this earlier, but when we are promoting it, our speaker, if they have a book they have written, or we had someone that had a Twitch account, we will promote that on our social media pages, on our flyer, and support them. And it's great because after the presentation, the residents can go and find that book or find their YouTube channel or their podcast. A lot of people have discovered new podcasts with this series as well.
Yeah, very cool. And I did want to show Autumn this comment. I want to live where Autumn works. We all do. But I did see Liz also gave another suggestion for a legend. It's the Bloody Mary legend, not the drink, although maybe we could have those for our residents at the event. But that's pretty fitting with Halloween. But I did want to ask, so somebody actually asked in the chat as well, but Kat, can you give us some hints of what is coming next?
Yes, I can give a little hint, but you guys will have to figure it out from my hint. So I will say it is about 13 mischievous figures from Icelandic folklore associated with the Christmas season. So drop in the chat what you think it is.
It's going to be great. So that is part of our holiday cheer, which is coming up starting on Thanksgiving Day. We will have an episode of LinkedIn as well about about our holiday cheer, but that is coming later. So ladies, I think we did it. I'm excited. Are there any last thoughts, Shannon? Maybe
oh my gosh, yes, I have a last thought. It actually has nothing to do with what we're talking about. What it does have to do with is the star of our comments section, Elizabeth Thompson, who has her own podcast, a little something called Thoughtful Connections, a memory care podcast. And the new season 3, the first episode drops on Monday. So just a little plug for something else since we're talking about podcasts.
I love it. And we did just launch an Instagram and TikTok account. So I'll put, like I said, all these links in the comments after this. So ladies, thank you so much. You're all legends too. I had so much fun. I had to say it. Okay, this was great. I think we did it. Join us next week and I will see you then. Same place, same time. So thank you so much. Bye, everybody.